When you first hear about the Bard's College in Solitude, you might imagine a place alive with music. You expect lute strings plucking in harmony, warm laughter echoing through stone halls, and bright-eyed students perfecting the songs that will echo in taverns across the land. And at first glance, the building does fit that image. Beautiful architecture, well-lit interiors, and a proud history. But then you start to notice the silence. The college has no classes, there are no real performances, its halls feel unpopulated, its members strangely static. The people here have names, but few stories. You begin to realise something unsettling. The Bard's College is not the thriving institution you thought it was. In fact, it might be the most irrelevant and overlooked faction in all of Skyrim. And perhaps it always has been. In the Elder Scrolls universe, bards have played an important role. They're not just musicians, they're the keepers of history, the chroniclers of great deeds, and the voices of rebellion when courage is needed the most. The Bard's College in Solitude was once a prestigious institution, located in Skyrim's capital of culture and politics. It should, by all rights, be a centre for artistry. Historically, it attracted talented performers from across Tamriel. But by the time the Dragonborn arrives, this grand legacy feels faded. The college is more of a relic than a living, breathing school. Its members, though charming in their own way, don't seem to be learning or teaching. They're simply there, existing between dusty bookshelves and empty performance stages. The Elder Scrolls lore tells us the college was important once. The game shows us something else entirely. When you approach the Bard's College, the building stands proudly along Solitude's upper district, near the Blue Palace. It's large, stately, and undeniably well kept. You might expect a recruitment process, an audition, or at least a trial. Instead, you're pulled into the college through a favour for the headmaster, a quest involving a lost verse from King Olaf's verse. The initiation is surprisingly anticlimactic. You don't prove yourself as a musician, you don't learn a song, you don't even play an instrument. You simply recover a piece of writing, return it, and watch a festival unfold. And just like that, you're a bard. Except you're not given classes, or lessons, or a role to play. You've joined a faction that doesn't actually do anything. Walk through the Bard's College and you'll meet several named NPCs. They each hold titles suggesting a speciality: drum, flute, lute. You might think this means they can teach you to play, but their lessons are just small skill boosts tied to short fetch quests. After that, they have little to say beyond generic greetings. There's no sense of progression. The college doesn't seem to have schedules, rehearsals, or recitals. The so-called students are nowhere to be found. The entire place feels like a museum display, a snapshot of a once thriving institution frozen in time. Even in a game full of factions with flawed structures, the Bard's College feels particularly hollow. It's as though Bethesda built the framework for a deep role-playing experience and then stopped halfway. The Bard's College questline is perhaps the shortest of any major faction in Skyrim. You start with Tending the Flames, the King Olaf quest. It's an enjoyable little adventure taking you to Dead Man's Respite, where you recover the lost verse. The highlight is seeing the burning of the king at the Solitude Festival, a rare and purely cultural event in Skyrim. But then that's it. The follow-up quests are 3 small radiant jobs from the college staff. Recover a flute, a drum, and a lute from random dungeons. They're forgettable, mechanically identical, and carry no narrative weight. When you finish them, nothing changes in the college. You receive a few gold coins and skill boosts, but no new opportunities, no recognition, no sense that you've advanced as a bard. Compared to the Companions, the Thieves Guild, or the College of Winterhold, the Bard's College doesn't even pretend to offer a storyline. It's not just forgotten by the world, it feels forgotten by its own designers. If you linger in the Bard's College for too long, the quiet becomes oppressive. The halls are spacious and full of light, but they're empty. NPCs wander aimlessly, not interacting with one another. No music plays unless you force it, by requesting a performance from a wandering bard in a tavern, not from anyone here in the actual Bard's College. You'd expect this to be a lively counterpoint to Skyrim's many battle-worn halls and dark dungeons. Instead, it feels abandoned in spirit. Even Solitude's tavern, the Winking Skeever, feels more like a bardic hall than the Bard's College itself. The Dragonborn, savior of the world, can become a member of the faction and still find themselves standing alone in a silent room, wondering if anyone in this building even remembers their name. Lore-wise, the Bard's College should be one of the most politically and culturally influential factions in Skyrim. Bards are storytellers, and stories shape public opinion. A good song can spark rebellion, inspire warriors, or preserve a king's legacy. And yet in Skyrim's civil war, a conflict perfectly suited for propaganda, the Bard's College does nothing. No songs are written about the Stormcloaks or the Empire. No travelling performers are seen swaying hearts in taverns. No one even comments on the war unless prompted. This is where the forgotten part of their identity becomes almost tragic. They could have been Skyrim's voice in a time of chaos. Instead, they're a background decoration in the safest, wealthiest city in the province. It's almost cruel to compare the Bard's College to Skyrim's other factions. The Dark Brotherhood is a shadowy family of assassins with a full quest line, a base stat changes over time, and characters you grow attached to. The College of Winterhold lets you rise through the ranks, learn magic, and eventually lead the institution. Even the small Blackbriar family in Riften has a more active influence and involvement in the game world. The Bard's College, on the other hand, doesn't evolve. It doesn't respond to your achievements. You're not given a title beyond a member. It's not just forgotten by players, it seems to be forgotten by the game itself. Many players go through the entire Skyrim playthrough without ever setting foot in the Bard's College. Part of the reason is its location. Solitude is far to the northwest, often visited late in the game. Another reason is that the college offers no tangible rewards beyond skill boosts in speech and some gold. There's no armor set, no unique weapons, and no followers tied to it. Even the main questline leading there isn't advertised. You won't be naturally pointed towards it unless you happen to overhear the right conversation or stumble upon the headmaster. By the time most players reach Solitude, they're deep in other questlines and see no reason to spend any time on a faction that offers so little. The saddest part about the Bard's College is how much potential it has. Imagine being able to perform in taverns across Skyrim, winning gold and influence based on your speech skill. Imagine helping to write ballads about your adventures, or spreading propaganda for your chosen side in the Civil War. Imagine bards travelling with you, their music changing based on the region you're in. The framework for such a system is here. The NPCs exist, the building exists, and the idea exists. But instead of becoming a hub for player creativity and roleplay, the Bard's College is a hollow shell, a faction that exists in name only. So why bother joining the Bard's College at all? For completionists, it's simply another faction to tick off the list. For roleplayers, it can be a headcanon choice, imagining your Dragonborn's life as a wandering poet. For modders, it's fertile ground to expand upon. And indeed, several mods overhaul the college to give it more quests, performances, and relevance. But in vanilla Skyrim, the college remains a curiosity, a stop on the way to greater things. It's a place you visit once, maybe twice, and then like the rest of the world, you forget it's there. In a world of dragons, assassins, mages, and thieves, the Bard's College is a whisper. It sits in a beautiful hall in Solitude, surrounded by people with titles and instruments, yet no music fills the air. The members are more like caretakers of an empty theatre than active participants in Skyrim's story. They could have been powerful, they could have been relevant, they could have been the voice of the people in a time of war. Instead, they are the most forgotten faction in all of Skyrim, and perhaps somewhere in these quiet walls, they know it.